Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Marilyn Darling Show, and welcome to another episode of an ink review. How is everyone doing today? Are you having a nice day? I hope you're having a nice day wherever you are in the world. Anyway, how is everyone doing today? Are you having a nice day? Today we are looking at like a brownish, yellowish ink. This one is from Van Diemen. It is April. It is a shimmer ink. It's got some like copper shimmer in there. Oh no, that's... Okay, that's about right. One other thing, I want to bump up the brightness a little bit. There we go. Alright, that's about as good as it's gonna get. Alright, so here we have today's ink. Today's pen, we will be using the Jim Edwards Bloop pen. I don't know if you can tell this or not. That's copper. It's got some copper shimmer in there. Hello, Vermilion Tea. On your way to another room, but I'll hang in here for a while. Oh, very good. Why is it doing this? Oh, no. There. That's better. Okay. Maybe just bump up the brightness 2 ticks. Okay, that looks pretty good. So, here's today's ink. It's like a tanny, browny, orangey, yellowish ink. It's got some very interesting copper shimmer going on. Here's our ink swatch. Let's do the water resistance test. Okay. Let's give her a whizzle. See if she has any water resistance. Not a great amount of water resistance, I can already tell. Yeah, not too much. It does have a little bit of water resistance, but however, it is such a light ink, I might not want to use this on the outside of an envelope. Here's our 2 toilet paper chromatographies. This is done with water, and this is done with rubbing alcohol. We can see it left behind that copper shimmer in the middle, and then there's like a yellowish a bit, and then there's a slants of like orange and yellow, and then I don't know if you can see this, but like right, you can almost see it just there, is like a little bit of green peeking out. Just like all over the outside of this thing. And then here's our rubbing alcohol. And you can see that copper shimmer, that orangish brownish, and you guys can't see the green tinge No, you can't see it hardly at all. But there's like almost like a halo of green all the way around. But it's like so light. If you didn't know what you were looking for, you might miss it. Okay. Let's do some paper review. Okay. Let's do some paper review. Here we have the South Shore 25% cotton paper. Beautiful amount of shimmer, a little bit of shading, no real feathering, no bleeding, minimal amount of ghosting. Perfect. Pen and Gear envelope from Walmart.com. A little bit of shimmer, a little bit of shading, a little bit of feathering, and no bleeding, no ghosting. Perfect. The J&B Copper Plate Graph Pad from JohnNeilBooks.com. Beautiful shading, a little bit of shimmer, no feathering, no bleeding, no ghosting. Excellent. I'll move this up here. Here we have Rhodia Dot Pad 80 GSM. Beautiful shimmer, a little bit of shading, a little bit of spread, but no bleeding, no ghosting. Excellent. Maroman Namasani 80 GSM. Beautiful shimmer, a little bit of shading, no feathering. Ooh, a little bit of bleeding and ghosting. HP Premium 32-pound copy paper. A little bit of shading, a little bit of shimmer, a little bit of spread, a little bit of micro bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Here we have the Pen and Gear heavyweight notebook paper from Walmart.com. A little bit of shimmer, a little bit of shading, tiniest bit of spread, and bleeding and ghosting. Mead 5-star notebook paper. A little bit of shimmer, a little bit of shading, a little bit of spread, and bleeding and ghosting. Oxford 5-subject notebook paper. Nice amount of shimmer, a little bit of shading, minimal spread, barely any bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Perfect. Here we have CVS Caliber filler paper from CVS Pharmacy. Nice amount of shimmer, a little bit of shading, no feathering, no bleeding, no ghosting. Perfect. Perfect. The Jot envelope from the Dollar Tree. A little bit of shimmer, a little bit of shading, no feathering, no bleeding, barely any ghosting. Perfect. Here we have Kikuyo writing paper, 50 GSM. Nice amount of shimmer, a little bit of shading, no feathering, a little bit of micro bleeding, barely any ghosting. Hobonichi morning evening notepad. A little bit of shimmer, a little bit of shading, no feathering, no bleeding, barely any ghosting. Perfect. Pelican Hub notepad. Nice amount of shimmer, a little bit of shading, a little bit of feathering, but no bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Earful 75 GSM. A little bit of shimmer, a little bit of shading, no feathering, no bleeding, no ghosting. Airful's pretty good paper. I like it. Alright, Muji notebook. A little bit of shimmer, a little bit of shading, a little bit of spread, no bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Perfect. deal-worthy notebook from Target. A little bit of shimmer, a little bit of shading, no real feathering, no bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Best 43 cents I spent last year. For Artrin Olive 100. Hi Obs, how are you doing today? Artrin Olive 160 GSM notebook paper. Beautiful shimmer, a little bit of shading, no feathering, no bleeding, no ghosting. Best paper for the money. Alright, here we have probably the second best paper for the money. Leuchtturm 120 GSM. Beautiful shimmer, a little bit of shading, no feathering, no bleeding, no ghosting. It almost looks like honey to me. Shoy 120 GSM. This is probably the third best quality for the paper. Beautiful shimmer, a little bit of shading, a little bit of spread. No bleeding, no ghosting. Perfect. Anecdote notebook paper. Nice shimmer, a little bit of shading, tiny bit of spread, no bleeding, no ghosting. Perfect. The journal from the Dollar Tree. Beautiful amount of shimmer, a little bit of shading, a little bit of spread, a little bit of bleeding, a little bit of barely any ghosting. Perfect. It's interesting how some papers can bleed without ghosting. Pretty like orange marmalade. Yes, exactly. Wexford from Walgreens Pharmacy. Beautiful shimmer, a little bit of shading, no feathering, no bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Perfect. Salala notebook. A little bit of shimmer, a little bit of shading, tiniest bit of spread, and bleeding and ghosting. No surprise there. Midori MD paper. A little bit of shimmer, a little bit of shading, beautiful shading. No feathering, no bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Perfect. Daiso Premium Notebook Paper. These are relatively cheap, between $1 and $2.50. Nice amount of shimmer, a little bit of shading, no feathering, no bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Now that I look at it, you're right. It does look like orange marmalade. It's giving breakfast vibes. 68 GSM Tumaway River. Beautiful shimmer, a little bit of shading. I can't tell if that's spread, but there's no bleeding, minimal ghosting. Perfect. Here we have Leuchtturm 80 GSM notebook paper. Beautiful shimmer, a little bit of shading, no feathering, no bleeding, a little bit of ghosting. Perfect. Most excellent paper. Most excellent. It's just some of the best. Okay. Why aren't you letting me have some? Oh, it's because the things are in my way. Why did I put you all the way at the bottom? Okay, let me just find some tape. Oops. Okay, now what? Okay, we're doing a comparison panel. If I go too fast, you can hit the space bar. Use the J and the L to go forward, backward 10 seconds. The arrow keys to go forward, backward 5 seconds. And the comma period to go forward, backward 1 frame at a time. Though you may not have to hit and hold down the comma period to go forward and backward faster. Okay, so I'm going to try some orange inks. And then I'm going to try some yellow inks. And if none of those match out, I'm going to try some brown inks. Okie dokie. I'll try and get it so that way that there's light, but not too much shimmer going on. Okay, right off the bat, this brandy snap. Oh no, this is way darker. Birmingham Sunset Twinkles. Kind of close. It's got different, a little bit different though. Honey Burst, maybe? This might be a yellow ink. It could also be a brown ink, so I don't know. It's definitely leaning yellowish, orangish, brownish. I wish there was a color that we could call this. The same ink, but slightly darker. Or slightly lighter, depending on. Okay, let's try some yellow inks. Try some yellow inks. See if there's anything in here that's relatively close. Monteverde Lion is kind of close. Golden Barrel is kind of close. African Gold is kind of close. Cotswolds is a little bit leaning. Diamond Louise is a little bit more darker. Ferris Wheel Press Autumn and Auburn is a little bit more brown. Root Cellar is a little bit more brown. Golden Sands is a little bit more yellow. Apple Snail is kind of a little bit lighter. Sparkling Champagne is a little bit darker. Three Kings is a little bit darker. This apple Candlelight's a little bit lighter. Okay, I think that this is a yellow ink. want to peek in the brown department just because. You can just see how brown this is. Okay. This is definitely not a brown ink. If it is, it's like a golden brown, which is more yellow than brown for sure. Noodler's golden brown? No. Like I said, if you need to stop, you can hit the space bar and use the arrow keys or the J and the L or the period to go forward and backward. That's it. So this is definitely a yellow ink, I can tell. A lighter amber, I would call it, I think. Yeah, it's, I don't know, amber is like more orange. This is definitely like a browny, orangey-ish yellow ink. It's very strange. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope that you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Like, comment, subscribe. Ring the little bell. Make sure it's set to all so when I upload new content, YouTube notifies you. Don't forget to check out the links in the description. Don't forget to check out the social media link. Don't forget to check out the Discord and the social media link tree. Share this with your friends. I will be conducting a calligraphy class. What's today? Tomorrow, after my currently inked pens, to kind of do like a refresher. So if anybody's around after my currently inked pens, I will be. I think that I have gotten it down to a science, and it doesn't take very long at all. And so hopefully, if you guys are around, you can come hang out with me. I will be doing that around 1:30, 1:45, depending on what time I finish my currently inked pens tomorrow. So look forward to that then. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Get out there and enjoy your life. Be with the people you love. Tell them you love them. And I love you to pieces. Have a great day. Okay, bye.